Here is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of June 22nd through the 26th. I will go over 5 tickers on the 5-minute time frame and give you price targets. I will also have a gap recap from June 15th through the 18th and update the chart as well. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is Nike. We ended the week at $45.20, up 2.29%. To the north side takes us to one level of resistance and a potential take profit area at roughly 45.70. Above that, 45.97, and down the road at 4 standard deviations and another level of resistance and a potential take profit area, 46.25. To the south side, the baseline is now at roughly 45.14. Below that takes us to -2 standard deviations, a potential stop loss area, as well as a potential buy-in area at 44.61, 44.36, and 44.08. Now looking left, what happened the previous week? We ended the week here, got as high as roughly 46.09, and then gave it back. Now this is a clear resistance line, take profit, resistance. This is a clear buy-in signal as well as here, here, and here. We have a gap that will take us down to 44.03. That is still in play. This gap taking us down to 44.93 closed out on Wednesday, June 17th. Congrats if you went short and made some money. And to the north side takes us to 46.81, this gap right here that begins at that area and closes out at a whopping 52.76. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close, just something to be aware of down the road. And I do not see any other gaps to the south side, but looking left again, you can see on the way up, this turns into resistance. So that actually turns into a sell signal, and on the way down is a buy signal. Here's your clear sell signal as well. Next up is RIVN. We ended the week at $16.52, up 1.60%. To the north side, one level of resistance, many levels in between, -2 and 2 standard deviations. But at 2, that's roughly 16.88, 17.21, and down the road, 17.54. The middle of the trend, the baseline, support, a potential buy-in area, now roughly 16.22. Below that, retracing to 15.57-ish. 15.25 and roughly 14.92. What happened last week? Well, we started at 16.76, hit resistance up here, sold off. The highest we went was 17.10. We had a gap that closed, went down, touched this line, bounced up, touched this line, bounced up. And then here's a clear buy signal, ran all the way up to resistance. Your clear sell signal on the way down is support, grinding along this trend line right here. All right. We have a gap that takes us to 18.82 down the road. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. Right now we are in a downward channel on the 5. Looking left, here's your sell signal. And then your buy signal down here. Do I need to clean anything up? No, we hit this gap but did not close it out. Now to the south side, because there's always a south side, watch out for a gap that starts at 13.27 and takes us down to 12.53. That is a meltdown. I hear people say melt up all the time and it drives me bonkers, baddies. Things don't melt up. Ice doesn't melt up. Things heat up. All right, I digress. All right, we are again on a downward channel on the 5, so watch out for that. Here is a look at TSLY on the 5-minute time frame. We ended the week at 27.85, and this one has whipped us around all last week. Resistance, retracing, 28.20. Resistance, 28.49, and back to roughly 28.78. I'm in this trade. The middle of the trend is now 27.61. Okay, that could be a potential buy-in area. That is one level of support. Or this is an area we could also chop sideways. Below that, 27.02, 26.73, 26.44. What happened last week? Well, we started here at 28.25, hit as high as this wick, roughly 28.63. So this is no longer in play to the south side, even though we went down even more, 28.23. And let me change this into a deeper red so I can see that that is a gap. And this one took us down to 27.30, closed on Thursday the 18th. Congrats if you went short and made some money there. Let me just turn this into that red again. All right, I have shares at 27.66 it looks like, or maybe dividend shares. I'll have to go back and look. And 27.85 it looks like. Here's your buy-in signal, This is resistance, potential take profit area, but we're just grinding along this line. And what else? Oh, we have a gap that will, oh no, this gap to the upside close. That's the wrong color. So we gapped, oh no, we gapped up and then it fills to the south side. And all I did was I forgot to go back and close it. It barely touched, but nonetheless it touched down here, taking us down to 29.29. And we have gaps to the north side to talk about whenever we approach that area. Up next is NIO. We ended the week at $5.02, down 0.59%. We are at the middle of the trend. While I'm here, let me just mark it. Let me try on the magnet as well. 501. Resistance, 516. Down the road, 524 and 531. Support, 486, 478, and roughly retracing to 471. What happened last week? Well, we started at 521, got as high as this wick right here, roughly 531, and then gave it all back. This gap closed right here. We went down. Oops, I have to get rid of that magnet, or turn it on, sorry. There. So we went down, so that means we actually reverse to the green, to the upside, and that took us back to 520. Here's your buy-in signal right here, potential stop loss as well. Oh, look at this. This gap that was talked about previously at 497 closed right there on Tuesday. Congrats if you went short and made some money. And it started at 508. I'll go through and delete all of these later. Ooh, that's way back. When did that start? Tuesday, March 10th. I'll go back and clean that up later. But we have other gaps to be aware of to the south side. This one at 463. Watch out, people, for down the road retracing to that level we've been. And finally, the last one is Boeing. We ended the week at 222.72, down 1.29%. The middle of the trend is right there, very close to this line that I marked out previously. I'm just going to delete that now. I marked that out for the week of Monday, May 18th. I don't need any of these. That's just to show you where we've been if you're new to trading and marking out your chart. All right, north of that, 227.18, 229.11, 231.08, 219.40, retracing to 217.45, and 215.41. What happened last week? Oh, right here. Oh, look at that. We started here, went as high as 231.35. So we have this gap that I can see is still in play. Okay, this is on the way up, resistance, grinding sideways, giving it up a little bit, and then pushing through again. And here's your clear resistance line. And I marked this out all the way here, but in reality, it touched out of the gate on Monday. So congrats if you went long and made some money. Let me delete that. Where is my... Oh, there it is. It's on top of each other, so I couldn't see it. 230.70, delete. So congrats. All right. By the end of the week, we could hit 215.49-ish and to the upside end at 231.10, maybe. Now for Nike, which was at the end of the leaderboard and now it's at the top, the end of the week, we could hit 46.24 and the outer band will close maybe this. But look at that clear buy-in signal. This could be a potential buy-in area too. The 52-week low is 41.35. All right, that does it for me. That is a look at your gap and go trades. That's Nike, RIVN, TSLY, NIO, and Boeing. Have a great trading week.